Let's see what CBN is saying.
Television news program says that Turkey is clearly a terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is supplying weapons to the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Now, listen though, an international news is telling you that Turkey is supplying weapons to Boko Haram in Nigeria. But Nigeria never won or called Turkey or send message or come to TV or send diplomats or call Turkish ambassador to stop. No. But
They are aware
Simon
now.
fighting for Biafra has been the whole world have gathered against Simon Ekpa. Today, Finland, as foolish as that man called Alexander Stubb is, to listen to the France and the Tinubu and they listen to United Kingdom and not asking question, how can Newswatch CBN be telling you that Turkey is supplying the insurgent groups in Nigeria with arms to carry out ethnic cleansing and the land grabbing and the chase people into IDP camp? That one is not making anything. It's not your business.
Business.
Then they told you that Simon Ekpa is a freedom fighter. We don't want anybody to fight for freedom. You took Simon and lock him up in Finland. It's only people that are, it's only a fool that will tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. And why I am bitter whenever I hear people saying this is because when you look at them, they are Igbos, fools.
What are you talking? The people you are fighting with are among the people who are calling them terrorists, calling you person terrorist. How much more? It's not a surprise in any way. So, yeah.
Now, let's listen to the full news. Turkey supplying arms to the insurgents Boko Haram in Nigeria, and nobody is saying anything about it. What is his name? Musa is not coming to talk about it. Shehu is not saying nobody. Obio, Ruben Abati, Rufai. They are not saying about. Now, before this year end, they will call Rufai in Turkey or in Saudi Arabia and give him one award of the best news journalist in Nigeria that is outspoken.
Says that Turkey is clearly a terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is supplying weapons to the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria. 10 TV host Nashat Al-Delhi reported on a leak confirming an intercepted phone call from a few years back confirming the action. He reported in part, today's leak confirms without a doubt that Erdogan, his state, his government, and his party are transferring weapons from Turkey to, this is a shock, to where you may ask, to Nigeria, and to whom? To the Boko Haram organization. Well, Raymond Ibrahim, a journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and an expert on the Middle East and Islam, joins us now with more on this. Welcome, Raymond.
Hello, Heather.
Are you surprised by this report? What's your take on it?
No, I'm not surprised. And my take on it is that the actual tape that was made that you referenced and you quoted was made apparently in 2014 or 15. And it was reported widely in certain areas in the U.S. and in the West, not so much, and not much came out of it. And the reason, I think, is because Erdogan wasn't so, didn't have his fingers so much in Islamist politics outside of his own nation. But now that we've seen, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS Islamic State Caliph who was killed recently, and he was found just 3 miles from the Turkish border, which is in fact one of the last, or if not the last bastion of jihadi so-called freedom fighters attacking the Syrian government. It's brought it up again, the fact that everyone is saying, well, look, he's supporting ISIS. So now we're remembering, and that was, I think, the point of the Egyptian show, we're bringing back to see that there's some continuity here. It's not just right next door to Syria, to Turkey, meaning Syria. He's involved with some of the absolute worst Islamic terror groups. Remember, Boko Haram, which its name loosely means Western education is forbidden, haram, was basically doing what ISIS is notorious for years before ISIS. So the whole head chopping, crucifying, massacres, enslaving women and children, burning people alive, Boko Haram was doing that. And one of the things that international observers have been noticing, especially increasingly, is that their armaments, their weapons, are very sophisticated.
I hope we hear him. Wanda Lonini, you're welcome. Gio, you want to say anything before Noni?
For me, all this it's have been there for long time. It's not a new thing. We know Turkey have been a problem supplying these things to the north. Yeah, we know those. We know this other things. But the point there, the government they know what Boko Haram is doing. If the government of Nigeria didn't know, it would have been a different thing. But they know that the armies in Nigeria. How can you tell me a whole army will be in their barrack with all the whole equipments, and about 20 or 30 Boko Haram will come and sack the whole barrack and take the whole of their weapons? Eh? So which kind of this thing? It's not a surprise because Turkey is supplying them. The Nigerian government are supplying them as well. So that is why it is dangerous for our people to go and join anything military or police in this present time. When we are calling the ones that are still serving there to resign because their life is in danger, and somebody wants to go and recruit new, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So it's not a news. It's not the news at all.
Okay.
That is for me.
Noli,
Thank you.
no, Noli, Noya,
Can you
I
hear
beg
me,
you're
Ugo?
welcome.
Sorry,
Yes, we can hear you.
my day attack is too much. Can you hear me at all? Yeah, good evening. Yeah, you see what
Welcome.
I'm saying? What I'm saying is because Biafra is recruiting army, Biafra is recruiting military people, personnel. That's caused them to be running around looking for people to recruit. Maybe they thought that maybe people will not respond. So maybe they are seeing that people are responding and fear came into them. So the purpose is to distract people instead of joining Biafra army, to distract them to say, come and join Nigerian army. I think that's the purpose of this, because all the while they are not interested in recruiting because they are so-called repentant army was enough for them. So as soon as they find out that Biafra are recruiting now, then they wake up. They want to recruit people in army or whatever they want to recruit for Nigeria. That's all I'm trying to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. O nwere ntị ya nụrụ okwu ndị amụma. So everything is coming out